You're standing in Best Buy right now, surrounded by 50 identical black rectangles, all claiming to be the best, and you have absolutely no idea which one to buy. Today I'm ranking the top 4K TVs of 2026 from worst to best, using real-world testing, actual user complaints from Reddit and consumer forums, reliability data from Consumer Reports. We're going from solid options with quirks to absolute champions that justify every penny. Let's dive in. Number 7. Hisense U7N. This is the TV your smart friend bought and won't stop bragging about at parties. For around $650 for the 55-inch model, the Hisense U7N delivers mini LED performance that genuinely shocked me when I first tested it. We're talking peak brightness around 850 nits, a native 120Hz refresh rate, and surprisingly decent Dolby Vision HDR. My neighbor grabbed one during Prime Day last July, and when I walked into his living room, I honestly thought he'd spent twice as much. The local dimming works well for dark movie scenes, and for sports on Sunday afternoons, it's genuinely impressive. But here's where reality kicks in. The viewing angles are mediocre at best. Sit more than 30 degrees off-center and colors start looking like a faded photograph. The built-in Roku TV interface occasionally stutters when switching apps, which drove me crazy during testing. Consumer Reports gave it a 78 out of 100 for picture quality, but flagged concerns about long-term panel uniformity. One user on the home theater subreddit complained about temporary image retention after pausing his Xbox dashboard for an hour. The upscaling from regular HD content also struggles. I watched an old episode of The Office and everyone looked slightly plastic. Verdict: best bang for your buck, just don't expect miracles. Number 6. TCL QM7. KTCL has been crushing it lately, and the QM7K at around $900 for 65 inches represents their most ambitious mini LED effort yet. This thing pumps out over 1,200 nits of peak brightness, which means HDR content absolutely pops. I watched Dune Part 2 on this set, and the desert scenes were so bright I actually squinted. It uses over 1,000 local dimming zones, and the contrast control is legitimately competitive with TVs costing twice as much. Lifestory Research's 2025 brand satisfaction study ranked TCL at 82% for value perception. The problem is software. TCL's Google TV implementation feels sluggish, especially when you first turn it on. There's this weird 3-second delay before it responds to your remote. Motion handling during fast sports gets jittery unless you dig deep into settings and enable motion smoothing, which then makes movies look like soap operas. I tested one side by side with the Hisense, and while the TCL had better peak brightness, it also had more noticeable blooming around bright objects on dark backgrounds. The built-in speakers are genuinely terrible, producing tinny dialogue that sounds like everyone's talking through a telephone. Consumer Reports dinged it for inconsistent quality control. Verdict: brilliant picture when it works, but needs a soundbar and patience. Number 5. Samsung QN90F. Samsung's QN90F is what you buy when you want zero drama and maximum reliability. At around $1,500 for 65 inches, Samsung's Quantum Mini LED technology delivers 1,400 nits of brightness with exceptional uniformity. This TV nailed a 91% satisfaction rating in Lifestory's survey. The anti-glare coating is phenomenal. I set it up facing a window, and even with afternoon sun streaming in, I could still see the picture clearly. Gaming features are comprehensive with 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, variable refresh rate, and input lag measuring just 9.8 milliseconds according to Arting's testing. But Samsung's stubbornness shows through. No Dolby Vision support, only HDR10+, which means you're missing out on the best HDR format for Netflix and Disney Plus content. The Tizen smart platform is polished but feels locked into Samsung's ecosystem. Viewing angles, while better than cheaper LEDs, still can't match OLED. And here's something nobody talks about. The automatic brightness limiter kicks in during really bright scenes to prevent overheating. My cousin owns one and loves it, but he admitted that after watching Lawrence of Arabia, some desert scenes dimmed noticeably halfway through. Verdict: reliable excellence with corporate quirks. Number 4. Sony Bravia 7. Sony charged $1,800 for the 65-inch Bravia 7, and honestly, I thought they were insane until I actually watched content on it. This mini LED set only hits around 1000 nits peak brightness, which on paper looks weak, but Sony's cognitive processor XR does something magical. Motion handling is the best I've tested. Premier League matches looked smooth and natural without any soap opera effect. Upscaling regular HD and even standard definition content blew me away. I threw on an old DVD of Gladiator just to torture it, and the image looked shockingly watchable. Consumer Reports rated Sony's reliability at 94% based on 75,000 subscriber responses, the highest of any TV brand. The drawbacks are real though. At this price point, you're competing with entry-level OLEDs that have better contrast. The included remote feels cheap and plasticky. Google TV runs smoothly here, but it means occasional ads on your home screen. Black levels are good, but not OLED perfect. Watching horror movies in a dark room reveals some backlight glow. There's no Dolby Vision gaming support, which matters if you own an Xbox Series X. Verdict: processing genius that almost makes you forget it's not an OLED. Now let's talk about what actually separates these technologies. Think of LED backlit TVs like lighting a painting with a flashlight from behind. You're shining light through the image, which means true darkness is impossible because light always bleeds through. OLED is different. Each pixel is its own tiny candle that can turn completely off, creating perfect blacks and infinite contrast. Mini LED uses thousands of tiny flashlights instead of one big one, giving you better control and brighter highlights than OLED, but you still get some light leakage. QLED just means Samsung added special nanoparticles that make colors more vibrant. The real question is whether you value perfect blacks and viewing angles from OLED, or maximum brightness and zero burn-in risk from Mini LED. When you're actually shopping, here's what matters beyond specs. Measure your viewing distance in inches and multiply by 0.84. That's your ideal screen size. Sitting 8 feet away means around 80 inches works perfectly. Consider your room's lighting honestly. Big windows with afternoon sun? Skip OLED entirely. Go Mini LED. Dedicated home theater with blackout curtains? OLED will blow your mind. For gaming, make sure you've got HDMI 2.1 ports and 120Hz support minimum. Think about your smart home ecosystem. Google devices pair beautifully with Google TV, Samsung phones work best with Tizen, and Apple users should prioritize AirPlay 2 support. Here's what nobody tells you about buying a TV. It becomes the center of your daily rituals and family moments. It's where you collapse after brutal workdays, where your kids experience Pixar magic for the first time, where you gather friends for the Super Bowl, where you binge entire seasons on rainy weekends. The right TV doesn't just display content, it enhances how you experience stories and connect with people. These aren't just gadgets, they're portals to shared experiences. Number 3, LG C5 OLED, the people's champion. Coming in at $1,600 for the 55-inch model, the C5 earned its reputation as the best TV for most people. Perfect blacks, instant pixel response time, 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, and a gorgeous WebOS interface that actually makes sense. Consumer Reports scored it 90 out of 100, and LifeStory found 88% owner satisfaction. Gaming performance is legendary with sub-1 millisecond response time, but brightness tops out around 800 nits. It shows reflections in bright rooms, and burn-in remains a tiny statistical risk if you watch CNN with static logos for 12 hours daily. Verdict: OLED perfection for the masses. Number 2, Sony Bravia 8 II, the QD OLED revolution. Sony took quantum dot technology and merged it with OLED for $1,900, creating something legitimately new. This set hits over 1,000 nits sustained brightness, crushing traditional OLED limitations while maintaining perfect blacks. Testing it felt like seeing OLED grow up. Colors are more vibrant than any TV I've tested, and Sony's processing makes everything look cinematic. The only catch is, it's Sony expensive and the stand design is polarizing. Verdict: OLED evolved into its final form. Number 1, Samsung S95F. We're the undisputed king. Samsung's QD OLED flagship at $2,300 for 65 inches is simply the best TV you can buy in 2026. It combines perfect OLED blacks with mini LED brightness levels, hitting 1,500 nits in real-world use while maintaining infinite contrast. Gaming features are complete, the anti-glare coating is witchcraft-level effective, and the One Connect box means pristine cable management. Consumer Reports gave it their highest score ever at 96 out of 100. Yes, it lacks Dolby Vision, and yes, it's expensive. But if you want the absolute best, this is it. Verdict: perfection has a price tag. So here's my full ranking. S95F for no compromises, Bravia 8. 2 for OLED brilliance, C5 for value, Bravia 7 for processing, QN90F for reliability, QM7K for brightness, and U7N for budgets. What matters most to you? Ultimate performance, beautiful design, or saving cash? Drop your priority in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more interesting Ultimate guides.